This afternoon, our authors will speak to the question, how have the experiences of the enslaved and the effect of slavery in Jamaica been reflected in their book? Please join us in welcoming Mr. Horace Levy as he speaks to his book, The African Caribbean Worldview and the Making of Caribbean Society. Welcome, Mr. Levy.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you very much. The African Caribbean Worldview and the Making of Caribbean Society, that's this book here, is about the identity of Caribbean people. It is a collection of papers delivered at a conference held in 2006 in honor of the late Professor Barry Chavans. The papers are on various aspects of the Africa-Caribbean worldview. Barry Chavans was for 8 years Dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences on the Mona campus. He was a social anthropologist who researched and wrote on many topics, but especially on the African in Jamaica, on Rastafari, fatherhood, the African Jamaican family, and decriminalizing small amounts of the use of marijuana. He also wrote and sang his own songs, many of them religious, which he accompanied on the guitar. The thread throughout the wide range of papers and topics in the collection in the African Caribbean worldview is the issue that from the beginning has confronted the region. The dominating efforts of Europeans and their descendants, and the strong resistance put up by Caribbean people from slavery to the very present. Thus, some contributions in this collection are on the repressive element, some on the resistance effort. Those on the repressive element were, for example, in a mockery of courtroom procedure, the harsh injustice dealt to Alexander Bedwood and his followers in the early 20th century for the peaceful march that they attempted from Augusttown. Another is the Colonial Office effort in the 1930s to maintain that black elementary school children, especially boys, were more naturally suited for practical training in agriculture than for academic subjects. Again, the policy that would silence the memory of slavery in museums, most of them in Martinique, and in Jamaica, today's statues in Emancipation Park, where the white middle class, alleging some remote black ancestry, try to dictate what black representatives must look like. The contributions on the resistance focus on Rastafari, drawing on their African Maya roots, but going beyond them and beyond revival to fashion their own highly original and insightful beliefs and practices that totally reverse and overturn the Europeans' beliefs and practices, and do so to the enrichment of Caribbean lives. Again, the music of trombonist Don Drummond, which contributed significantly to the birth of ska and to what ska led on to, reggae. The leadership provided by Rastafari singers, and even on the margins, or from the margins, by a Jah Cure. The incredible orchestral cathedral complexity of Trinidadian steel bands, the power of the steel band movement, and the steel pan music throbbing across and pouring out of Trinidad, a very small island, but going around the world. And the expressive Creole languages in every island as national integrators. In this book, slavery and the experiences of slaves are given no specific explicit treatment, but it is the same racial color division with its denial of black culture that was begotten in slavery and maintained to this day in education, art, and monument, which is the theme of this book, in its recourse whether to historical records or to the challenges that have emerged in religion, music, and many other spheres. They speak to an ongoing effort to fashion a culture and a society, a distinct identity that give full space to the African heritage of the majority of Caribbean people, even as they accommodate to new and evolving circumstances. Two, in this latter respect, the accommodation to circumstances, are taken up in the book. Sexual, cultural patterns in relation to high levels of HIV/AIDS, and economic performance, and sometimes malperformance, in the face of economic crisis. Here too, Caribbean creativity is being challenged to reduce vulnerability to AIDS, and through civil society initiative, to advance the well-being of all Caribbean people. The goal, in every respect, is liberation from mental slavery. Those are a few words, Karen, on the book, The African Caribbean Worldview and the Making of Caribbean Society, which I hope all our listeners will get a copy of and read thoroughly.
I want to thank our viewers for logging on and listening to all our authors who were presented in our Black History Month special. This is our first live feature of many more to come. I want to thank you, Mr. Levy, for coming and sharing with us this afternoon. On behalf of the Board of Directors and the management of and staff at the University of the West Indies Press, I would like to thank you, Mona TV, the communications offices at Kville, Mona, Open Campus, and St. Augustine for partnering with us in our Black History Month 2012 initiative. And to our Facebook fans, remember to keep posted for what's happening at the UA Press. Thank you.